Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. We are here. Sorry we're late. It's my fault. I got stuck in traffic and no, just kidding. Um how's everybody doing?
Freezing.
I know it's crazy out there. I've got this
Oh,
warning that it's going to be storming and that we might like lose power and all that kind of stuff. So right now it's pretty calm and cool, so
yeah.
I think we're going to be okay. But if you lose me somewhere along the line, just go on without me. Save yourself. Well, hey everybody, welcome to another Wednesday evening live stream with the shower door professionals. These here are the shower door professionals in the flesh. We are getting together as we always do on Wednesday evenings, almost never miss it, to talk about shower door stuff, business, education, safety, design, and everything else. If it has to do with the shower door business, we're going to talk about it here because that's what we do. And you're welcome to join us on a Wednesday evening. If you can get here on time, you can be here in the Zoom call with us and participate, ask questions, you know, give your 2 cents. Or if you're just watching us on YouTube or listening on the podcast, be sure to subscribe and give us a like. We like it when you like us. Yeah. So as we're getting started here, I see Christina's here. Christina, is there anything we need to announce, something to talk about? I have a feeling there probably is.
Always, always. Hi. So I'm here to give the co-op announcement. If you don't know what the co-op is, well, here we go. The co-op is a group of shower door professionals. Many of us are on this call, and it is a group of us who've been verified through a series of checks and all that good stuff to make sure that we know what we're doing and follow NGA guidelines and do right by the customer and have proof of that. And then we're gonna use our group to market each other and provide each other with leads. And we have a website and it's pretty great, showerdoorprofessionals.com. And let's see, this week we can formally announce now that Brandon Nicastro of GCS Glass is a new member of the cooperative. He has joined us with 3 locations in Phoenix, Denver, and Long Island. So yay, thank you so much, Brandon. We are very excited to have you and work with you and provide you with leads and all that good stuff. So next, we are pivoting a little bit with the event. So I think a couple months ago, we had discussed some ambitious plans for a kind of large scale workshop type event with speakers and things like that in April. And in order to do this the way that we really, really want to, I think we need more time. And if anybody's planned anything that big, I think, you understand. So we want to do it right. We want to take some time and that's okay. But so you can unmark your calendars for the end of April for that. But we do have a few things up our sleeves, so don't get unexcited because there's some stuff down the pipeline. So we've got an iron in the fire, and we are going to have more on that coming up. And then let's see. Last week we had Brittany and Jason from True Light. They were talking about True Showers and showing the demo of True Showers. If you missed that, it was a real treat. If you just heard the audio version, head on over to the YouTube because the demo was primarily visual as a demo is. So you might want to take a look at that. They have some really wonderful things to offer. And we'd like to also announce that the call in 2 weeks on the 26th is going to be Glazer software. So that'll be Andy Reid with Glazer software doing a demo of that. So if you're looking for new software, if you're not sure what's available, if you're still on pencil and paper, that's completely fine. All of us started there. If you want to keep that, that's great. But these are some options for you too. So we're excited to have Andy Reid, and Glazer Software. We'd like to continue prayers, thoughts and prayers for Doug, Brad, Billy, and anybody else needing some extra sparkle and oomph this week. I know it's kind of been a tough 2025 for a number of people, so I hope that we're all hanging in there. And happy Valentine's for those of you who frequently forget Valentine's Day. This is a shameless plug to remember your wives and partners this week. Don't forget Valentine's Day. Go grab a bouquet or something. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Christina. Thanks for reminding us of that stuff. It's really great. So yeah, stuff's happening, We're not gonna we're not gonna let any grass grow under our feet. We're definitely gonna be doing stuff, and there'll be events happening. So stay tuned. We will keep you updated for sure. And so anyway, this evening, our topic is membership organizations. Let's talk about that. Do you belong to any membership organizations? Do you belong to like NGA, the National Glass Association? How about your local Chamber of Commerce? Are there any other networking groups that you're a part of? And if so, which ones? And what benefits are you getting from those? So I know that some of you are, so if I have to call on you, I will. But anybody want to jump in and tackle this topic?
You know what, Chris? Well, I've owned my business almost 21 years, and one of the first organizations I joined was our local Home Builders Association. I'm also a member of the NGA, but our local Home Builder Association here in North Central West Virginia is pretty strong, and that's been probably one of the most beneficial organizations that I've been involved with. And just as an example, we had a meeting. I've been on the board for, I think, 19 of those 21 years, but I was sitting in a meeting last year, a general membership meeting, and there was 52 people in attendance, and I was just kind of doing a head count. I had done business on a consistent basis with 48 of them. So I thought it was I still think it's a beneficial move, in organization for me personally.
Nice. Yeah. So how frequently do y'all get together, or what's that look like?
Well, we have a monthly board meeting, and then we have a monthly general membership meeting, typically the third week of the month. But over the years, it's a really strong group in terms of internal referrals. If you need anything, whether it be glass, in my case, or whatever it may be, and it's a real strong group in terms of referring each other and kind of identifying the members in the group first and giving them a call for whatever you need, electrical, plumbing, it doesn't matter. And then and they're very supportive in that regard. So yeah, that's probably been the biggest thing. It's been beneficial.
That's cool. Home Builders Association. It's a good one. Who else?
I was part of a trade association that it was just homegrown. Think of BNI, Business Networking International. I think I'm sure some of you guys are members. It was started by a local painter, and he just got a group of his business owner friends together, and they got a group of their business owner friends together. And in the beginning, it was really strong. We had a great referral network. And in fact, what I think a lot of us did, is we created a sheet that we would give to our customer when we showed up. And it said, I'm part of the trades association, whatever, put in your name and information, but it had check boxes for all of the different trades that we had available within the group. And it said, is there any of these other trades that you might need to do business with, for projects that you have coming up? And, oftentimes they would just fill out their name and number. It was a great way for us to verify that we actually had the correct, which is the way I told them. But then it was also a great way to kind of ease into, hey, if you've got other things going on, then here's a perfect way to get you to somebody else that can do that.
Excellent.
Brian, that's great. And I used to go to one, it was called the North Georgia Business Connection. And we did not do that where you had a different form. But where I benefited was everybody had to do a presentation at some point. And of course, your turn will come up. It gives you a chance to tell everybody
Right.
about what you do and blah, blah, blah. And then what's nice is people get up and talk about what they do, and it might be insurance, and they give you so much information that it's beneficial, things you wouldn't expect, or somebody who does tax accounting, and they tell you nice little tips like if you are donating money to some kind of charity, you actually ought to call that an advertising expense because it's a full write-off. If it goes as a donation, it's not. But there's little things you pick up like that when you go to those
Right.
organizations. So I haven't done that in a long time because we met in the mornings. And of course, you know what it's like to run a business. Everything starts in the morning. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely worthwhile. And I did that for probably 3 years, maybe. Met
Yeah.
some
And
really good contacts. Yeah.
that was probably about the same. And eventually ours got too big and people started not showing up because they had a level of anonymity. Nobody will notice if I'm not there, right? And things kind of started breaking down. And then we got enough people in there that were kind of periphery. And what I found out from some of the workers, not the, because I hired one to do some work in my own house. And what he said is the owner wants us to go to the meetings and get referrals, but do not give referrals because they were afraid that if they gave out referrals to some other companies, that project would come first over the project that they wanted to do, that they were getting possibly hired to do. It was more about me, not about us. Or
Right.
we. And that was when the whole thing started breaking down because it got too big. And I understand that there are things that BNI does to try to make sure that that doesn't happen, that sort of thing. But it was homegrown and it was very, very beneficial. And I still have contacts with those people. I went to the home show last weekend, worked the home show, and my goodness, I walked around with Greg for a while, met him at CTA, met her at CTA, and just walked around to all the different booths. It was CTA all over the place. It was great. And we still do business once in a while. So good connections.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of experienced the same where, I still have contacts that I use. One word of caution is that, and especially with BNI, they push each member to give somebody a lead. And so people feel a little pressure to generate a lead, and it might not be actually a very good lead for that reason. And
Right.
that was the problem I was having. They weren't really ideal leads basically for me, but there was a lot of other benefit to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, those are some good points. I mean, I know my experience, I've been a member of a number of different groups. I joined the local Lions Club when I first got into business, which was really interesting. This has been a while ago. So I probably was in my late 40s at that time, and mid to late 40s. And so like I was like the youngest guy in there, So it was kind of an interesting experience. A really cool experience, actually. Just getting to know people in the community, other business owners, stuff like that. Didn't really generate much business, but it's really not designed, really,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah. Every group has its own flavor.
yeah, exactly. So, but it's cool, you do make relationships, and and lasting ones too. So that's pretty cool.
I was a Lion member too.
Oh yeah, are you still a member?
No, I got out years ago.
Yeah, kind of like kind of started to fade. I mean, I think it's been fading for like decades, but
Now it's still active in our area. We go to an event. My wife's friend puts it on, so we always go to it.
how many members are in your local club?
Well, back then it was maybe 10 or 20, 10 to 20 people, but
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
died off. They all died too. So
Yeah. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences.
yeah, it, I've
Um,
been there, done it.
yeah.
What we did was, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, Community service organization, so you
Yeah.
get to, do nice stuff for the community, and that's cool.
We had in Carmel, we had the Carmel Youth Center, and they provided the food service at the Bing Crosby Royal Golf Service for years.
Hmm.
So I was involved with that for quite a few years. That was a lot of fun.
You're
Right.
dating yourself. It
Right.
hasn't been called that for a long time.
I know. I even had Bing Crosby come in one of my food trailers and left his wife sitting outside in the rain.
No.
Well, I think some of the maybe obvious organizations are like the NARI, or NARI, as I think some people call it, and KBA, and is it ABIS, something like that. That's more for designers though, and at least in our area, and then Home Builders Association. But something that I found is really helpful to me personally was working through the Small Business Development Center. That's come up a few times in this group before, but that's um, in most locales of like a free business consulting essentially for small business owners, and it's great. If you haven't connected with your SBDC, that did wonders for us. I know, especially during COVID, and I took a little business class through them, and it was just like a 6-week course. We met, once a week, and met a lot of great contacts through there, through that class, and then also learned a bunch. So highly recommend working with your local SBDC.
This is a bit of an aside, but the Small Business Development Center associated with the Small Business Association, I think that's called that. Anyway, tons of classes that you can take for little to no money. They've got a lot of good resources. So aside from the contacts that you can get class, I hadn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can get like, free or low cost, like one-on-one consulting. I've reached out to them a number of times over the years, and just get a little help, with a certain aspect of business that, I'm kind of struggling with or whatever. There's usually it's somebody who's retired, who's done that, and they're just really help. They're just, want to be helpful and want to pass on knowledge, kind of like this group, really. Just people who are love being in business and like other people and want to help. It's pretty awesome. That's a great thing to bring up. Small Business Development Center. And here in my area, it's like through the local community college. That's where they're at. Good stuff. I know that Shannon is a part of a group that's really unique. Um, would you like to talk about your little group?
I feel like I've talked about it multiple times, but
Have you
I'll do it
talked about it
again.
here? I know you talked about it like in like board meetings and stuff like that. But have you talked about it here in
Maybe
this
not on
group?
the call. I don't know. So we call ourselves the Divine Nine. There were nine members. We actually became the 10th, but we had to keep the name Divine Nine because it was so cool. Um, then we lost a member, so we're back to nine. Anyway, um, started probably 20 years ago by a couple of the people in our group. There's a central vac person, a custom fireplace person, a HVAC Miller Paint Company. It's a Northwest Paint Company. Used to be Northwest Natural Gas. They're a real heavy hitter. An appliance company. So lots of great people that are very sponsor oriented, really into events and things like that. People who are willing to spend time and spend money on gaining customers and appreciating existing customers. So the way it works is that we put on probably at least 4 events a year. Our biggest one is a football party that is during the AFC NFC championship games, and we rent out the entire restaurant. Have all the games going and everything. All the food and drinks is paid for by us. We have raffles, giveaways. We do a game board where you can bet on it. It's probably about 5 hours for the total of those two games or more. And it's all of us inviting our best customers. So everyone puts in usually maybe 100 of their top customers. And with nine of us, that's 900 potential people, but there's lots of crossovers. So we ended up inviting about 600 people. We got 120 of them to show. It's crazy how hard it is to get people to show up these days. But my best customers may not be someone that one of our members is working with. So, I get a chance to meet his customers. He gets a chance to meet my customers in a very informal, easygoing way. In addition to the football party, we're getting ready in April. We do a top golf event. It's a little bit smaller because each of us has one of the little lanes. And so you got whatever 6 people that you'll invite. And then we do there's a trap shoot at our HBA that we all belong to, and we cook breakfast for everyone at the trap shoot. We serve about 800 people breakfast, and so all of them are going through the line, and we do the whole eggs and sausage and the whole bit. What's another event? We've done wine tasting, we've done bowling, we've done a variety of different things. We're talking about doing a small kind of pub golf. Is that what they call it? I'm not into golf. The ones where you have little simple, not so many holes, 9 holes, pars. Yeah, low, I don't know. Anyway, so we're talking about doing something like that, but it's just all about customer appreciation, but it gets us all together and gets our best customers in front of everybody else.
Wow.
And when you're splitting a bill, it cost us $1,000 to be at that football party all day meeting, 100 great people. So that's really worthwhile. We also talk to each other. We share customers along the way. If there's anyone that you want to meet, we're creating a database, so it'll be a little bit more formal. You can look up whoever you want to meet, and one of our members is already doing business with them. You can ask them to set up a lunch or something like that, set up a meeting, give a nice little intro. So we're doing more of that stuff too.
Wow, very cool. I mean, that's really impressive. I mean, so this is just kind of a grassroots thing that was put together by a group of people, just not part of a bigger organization or anything. But and I mean, this is an event, like, these are big events. Really, I mean, these are events bigger than most of the bigger organizations I've been a part of have been able to pull off. So that's like super impressive. I mean, 9 people serving like 800 people breakfast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
When the group first started, what the two people who started it, they were noticing that they were sponsoring these HBA events or NARI events at like $500 or more a pop. And they're going, if just the two of us put together, our $1,000, we could probably do better than this. Have you ever been to a HBA event and you're looking around going, this is a loser event? So then you get more and more, and you got the spending power, and you got the people. We split it too. So I'm in charge of the football party. Our surfaces guy is in charge of the Top Golf. Another guy's in charge of breakfast. Oh, the Street of Dreams. We do a VIP party at the Street of Dreams every year. And so we put different people in charge of it. Another guy's in charge of the database, so he keeps all of the constant contact going. So you can split it up and split the money. It kind of sounded like what Brian was doing, Brian Jared, and some of the BNI and everything. It's just that it goes beyond referrals. And there's only one of us. It's a very select. There's only, anyone can blackball a potential new member. And if they do something similar to you, then they're out of there. And yeah, so.
Yeah, you make a good point, Shannon. I was going to say you kind of did what we did, just on steroids. I mean, you just took it to the next level. That's impressive.
Yeah, it really is.
Shannon, what do your invites look like to your top customers? Like, because that's a really good idea. I mean, I know I have notes from this Divine Nine thing, but so how do you choose who you want to invite, and what does that invite look like? Because we supply cabinet glass to a cabinet shop that just happened to pick up a builder that we do work for the past like 15 years, and it's like, okay, now we're correlating, there's so much to be gained from these little acquaintances we have with cabinet shops and countertop companies. How do you choose who you're sending out your invites to as far as your builders and stuff like that? And what does that look like? And what is the reaction to coming to something like that for the first time or what have you,
Yeah, well, everyone gets to use their own definition of what their top customers are. We're of course looking at, who does the most business with us. At all of these parties, you can only invite contractors or designers, so you couldn't invite a cabinet shop to the event. I mean, they could be part of your group, but you couldn't invite someone like that to the event. We use the ones that have done the most business with us over the past year or 2 years. When we send out the invites, that's the biggest thing. You got to be on it over and over again. So we have a database and it goes out. It used to go out through Constant Contact. This time we did the Evite, the party invitation online thing. Pops up like a party. But we all have to do our own personal invitations too and send it. I mean, I send 125 emails to the particular customer saying, hey, so and so, here's our event. You should have gotten the Evite in case it went to spam, wanted you to know about it, blah, blah, blah. Even the people who say no, it's a really good opportunity. One of our best builders, they came in the past, and some of our other group, I was all excited because they're like, you got elite here. Oh, that's so awesome. We've been trying for years. So sometimes they can, sometimes they're busy. The elite ladies, they said that they couldn't make it. And so I just responded back, hey, we're really gonna miss you. I hope that you'll accept how much, I can't remember. I hope that you understand how much we appreciate your business, even if we're not able to wine and dine and, enjoy football with you. So even when they say no, having the chance to say, well, even if you're not at our appreciation party, I hope you know how much we appreciate you. So even if they don't come, it's a contact. It's a, we're thinking about you.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by glassgadget.com. Showcase Innovations creates tools that help shower door installers be more efficient and save time. Check out glassgadget.com for more information.
When you send those to, say it's a group that is, you have some that are your actual owners, the builder themselves, that you could probably more directly invite. But then what about the ones that if you have them, they have purchasing agents or something, and the owners and stuff, and you're friends with them, but they have a purchasing agent who actually makes these decisions and stuff. Who are you sending that to, and like how do you control? They've got 50 people that work for them. How do you say, hey, we need X amount of people to come represent from your company? Or, you know what I'm saying? So you're getting the right people from a larger company.
Yeah. Well, again, we sent out 600 invitations to get 120. So keep in mind, you're not going to get, yeah, you're going to miss a lot of people. Sometimes it goes to project managers. Sometimes it's the owner. Sometimes the owner's not really very involved. Sometimes it's a chance to reach out to the owner, even though you've never really met them or worked with them. So sometimes when we don't know the owner, we'll still go ahead and invite them instead of the project manager. Or in addition, we say, 4 people maximum. So when they say they want to attend, how many in your party? We say 4 maximum. It's not usually a problem. Every once in a while, people get blackballed off of this list. These people brought their son and daughter-in-law and, neighbors that were visiting. I mean, it was ridiculous. So there were 6 of them, and yeah, they got blackballed. Other people took to-go containers home with them. I mean, these happened, over the years, so they get off the list. But sometimes the project manager is a good one to use. And if the person that we're inviting, if the business owner says, oh, I'm out of town or something, then usually we'll say, can you extend this to your project managers or someone else in your organization? Because, they're great too. And they appreciate that we are including their employees. So you kind of just got to play it by ear. I guess I'll mention one other group that I'm a part of. Within our city, I don't know if a lot of people have this. One of the real estate developers that I met through the HBA, he started this group, and it's called the Oregon City Business Alliance. And it's the city of Oregon City that I live in. And they invite city officials and House and Congress people in the state of Oregon and representatives and stuff. And it's a chance for business owners and government officials to meet and discuss. They'll have forums. They had a forum about housing and homelessness and things like that. They'll do crime, they'll do, beautification along Main Street. I have been able to meet a lot of people within that group or make connections where there have been a couple of critical things where we had a homeless camp behind our building and I couldn't get anyone to do anything about it. I went to this business forum and I was able to connect with the right person who took care of it like the next day. I was having trouble getting permitting when we were building up our electrical for the furnace as we were starting fabrication. They got in there too. So it hasn't been much of a referral source, but business wise, it's been pretty incredible. I hate to say that I saw firsthand that sometimes you got to know people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, the world's made of people, it's like it's all about relationships, really. I mean, yeah. Good one. Thanks for sharing that. That's good. What are we missing? Something we haven't talked about here?
So I'll just, oh, no, go ahead, Shannon.
No, you go.
No, I was just going to say, we're members of the Chamber of Commerce in our town where our building, our business is located. And at first we weren't really sure that that was going to be the right move for us, but it's actually, like Chris said, it's really been about the relationship. So we actually started last year. They did the very first like street fair type event, and we were actually able to create our own level of sponsorship for the street fair. So we had the only covering for the street fair. So we were like right in the center of our town, right across from the stage because they had a band. Our town is where Utz Potato Chips is located. So they were right next to us. They're one of the biggest sponsors of the street fair. So we were able to connect with their CEO, which is pretty cool when you're a small business like us and you are connected with the Utz CEO. And he's like, I like having you here because we had 15,000 people at this event and we had the only covering in the middle of July. So it was pretty busy and it kept people in that area, which was really cool for us we can't sell anything at these events, which is a lot of what it is, like a vendor street fair thing. I can't put out a shower door and sell it, but we had people that saw our banner, felt like we were part of the community. So it was really about building those relationships. So we're looking at doing that again this year, along with two other events, which is just about name recognition, brand recognition, connecting with some of the bigger businesses and companies in our town, which we felt to be beneficial. Also, I think it's connected us with local realtors. So they know our face, they know our business. They'll send their clients to us instead of the next county over, which they've been around for 30 years. So they know them, but now they know us personally. So I think just finding the way that you can connect with, even if it's not necessarily a person who's going to buy from you, but they're going to refer people or they're going to begin to know what your business is about and who you are as a person, as opposed to you're just a name on the sign out front. So that's worked for us.
Yeah.
Hey, Morgan, I haven't seen you on here before. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, you've seen Doug. So Doug is my husband.
All right.
We're in Pennsylvania. I'm representing the company because he was injured in a hunting accident in November, and we've just been dealing with his recovery. By the time this call happens on the East Coast, he's done for the day. So
For the day.
I'm in.
You're it, huh?
Yep.
Well, thanks for being here. I hope that his recovery is going well.
He's trying.
We'll keep him on our prayers for sure too,
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, because people, if you're selling shower doors, like you say, I mean, you can't really take one to the fair and sell one. I mean, yeah, maybe you could, I don't know. I'm not ruling anything out, right?
Yeah.
But And people don't need a shower door every day. It's not really an impulse buy. But if you get to know people and that day comes when they do need a shower door, um, they think of you, right? And it's like, oh, oh, I know somebody who does that. And that's, where making those connections is just golden. It's like, do or somebody asks them, hey, who do I call about a shower door? And they're like, oh, I know just the person. They're really nice. And people like to do business with nice people. At least I do. That's great. Good stuff. Chamber of Commerce. It's a possibility. When we were getting started, I mentioned the National Glass Association. How many of y'all are members of the NGA? Are you? There's about half of us, maybe.
Just a few years.
Yeah. What about that, Tim? What about that NGA? You like it?
Oh yeah.
Is it good for you?
Oh yeah.
What do you get out of it?
I've got a lot of things out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My parents belong to it. They retired, we belong to it, and we've got insurance, we've gotten workman's comp, we've got all sorts of things out of it.
So getting a good deal on your insurance.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've
All
gone
right.
through them, and my brother does all that, but they've been good for us, Then we also belong to the California Glass Association,
Okay.
but not the one that is now. It used to be run by Don Harder, 20 years ago. And he had trade shows just like the NGA
Really?
in California. So,
Were those pretty well attended or what?
oh yeah, it was. I mean, he had them in Las Vegas, California, and he had a good organization.
So just some guy started it?
Yeah, it was Don Harder.
That's awesome.
He's sort of, he's like what's his name, Max.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Knows everybody in the business and
Max took over from him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I did
Chris,
not.
that's kind of like some guy just started the shower door professionals.
Right. There's some
Yeah.
guy, some random
Right.
guy, It's like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do
Yeah.
today? Maybe I'll start up a shower door group. I don't know. Maybe someone will come. Who knows?
And that's back when the NGA used to go to different cities every year.
Okay.
I went to New Orleans. That was a blast.
I love New Orleans. I
And
lived in New Orleans.
my dad would go every year to wherever it was, Atlanta, Florida, San Francisco. It was all over before
Didn't
they.
matter where. He'd go.
Yeah, he'd go.
Cool. Yeah.
And they had a lot more things going on then too.
Things such as
Seminars you can go to, classes
all
you
right.
can sign up for and go to. They don't have that anymore.
The NGA just came out with not just, but I think we've announced this in prior calls, but they've come out with My Glass Class, which is available for free to members of the NGA. The first versions of My Glass Class for frameless shower enclosures, which are based on the guidebook that came out last year, which several members of this group were a part of writing. So full circle.
No, I signed up for it. And it froze halfway through.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You had technical difficulties?
I don't know. I emailed them. I don't know if they've straightened it out yet, but no.
Technology, man.
I used to be able to go to seminars. And they would talk about shower doors, storefront systems, or whatever. There's a lot of interesting people that held classes at the show.
Got that right. Interesting people.
Yeah.
Well, I think being a part of a lot of these groups, and I think Shannon does a great job of this, but she helps educate other people in the trades about shower doors and how to design them and things. So that's a really cool opportunity to not only to receive leads and receive contacts, but also give information to other people, which ultimately is going to make all of our jobs easier, I think. So it's kind of a cool little win-win going on. I do have kind of a strange question,
All right.
parallel to some of these topics. So we had an open house event for our contractors, similar to kind of what Shannon was talking about with her Divine Nine group. But we had an open house and we invited, some of our more prominent contractors that we work with a lot and really appreciate. And it was a good event and it went well, but I found myself asking myself with every choice and decision we had to make for the event if we were doing too much or too little, because we don't want the contractors to think that we have all the money in the world, because we don't. But we also want to do something nice and enough to appreciate them. We have the same question about our showroom. We want our showroom to be nice, but if it's too nice, people might think, well, that's where my money's going. That's what I'm paying for, is your pretty showroom. And it's like, I've actually had customers comment on that before, and it's very uncomfortable. What do you guys think about that?
Wow. That's
You
good.
can never overdo it.
What's that?
If I say you can never overdo it, in my opinion, you see, when you go to a showroom, for example, ladies, right? You love purses. You go to Louis Vuitton, you go to Chanel, you go to all of these. They look extremely nice, and people are paying $10,000-$20,000 on handbags. You can go to an okay store, Coach, and pay a couple $100. But if you want to get with the people that have the money to spend, have the nicest showroom around.
There's some wisdom in that. Like who do you want as your customers? Do you want to target the more affluent people? Maybe not. That's not always the right strategy for everybody. Some people's strategy is, volume or aiming for a more middle of the, road sort of a customer. But if you want the more affluent customers, they're looking for someone who caters to them, right? Um, you know, the um the average homeowner, average income person, um, is fine with you doing their work if they can afford it. Um, they don't really care what you work for, but the more exclusive the clientele, the more they want an exclusive kind of company to do their work.
I don't know about you guys in your areas, but when I find myself thinking that my showroom looks nice, all I have to do is go to some of the like marble and granite slab places, or the ones that are selling high-end appliances with entire kitchen installations. And I go back to my showroom and go, oh man, I'm living in the sticks here. This is embarrassing.
You have
So,
a very nice showroom, Shannon.
but I mean, there are some places out there where they do it up nice, nice, and they change it up all the time. Those appliance people, man, I don't know if they get free appliances for all of these things, but there will be like 20 displays and they're changing them out constantly. And the tile or marble and granite, the countertop people are taking entire slabs and putting it on their walls with lights shining on it. And there's some high class places out there. So I'd 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 go more towards them. And then there's the scrungy place where the dog comes out to greet you. Sorry for anyone who has a shop dog, but that's my pet peeve. Sorry, Christina. Oopsie.
Shop dog. I love it.
Takes back every nice thing she just said about you, about your showroom.
Was he there when you were there?
No.
Okay, because we did have a
Kept
shop.
my mouth shut if he was. I didn't know. Oopsie. I'm sure
Anyway.
he's lovely.
I like dogs.
I like dogs too,
Yeah,
but
yeah. If
Not at work.
I don't know. If you
I
have a,
like kids too until there's 2-year-olds running around our glass shop with the
yeah,
homeowner who can't control them.
I guess you have a point there. Yeah. Don't want a whole bunch of 2-year-olds running around in your glass shop, I suppose.
Do you guys like bigger groups or smaller groups in general? For example, NARI in our market is a little over 200 members, whereas NKBA is, I think, 1,200 members. And we're, love NARI. I love how, the depth of the relationships that we have at NARI. But I'm feeling like we need more breadth with something like an NKBA, but I've also heard that people don't necessarily like that size of a group. It's just too big. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I like more intimate groups myself, like yeah, it's just easier to connect, and I don't know. I don't like the crowds anyway, really. So that's kind of a personal thing, but yeah, I mean, being a part of a group that if it gets any bigger than about 30 or 40, it's really hard to make a lot of connections really for me. So my 2 cents.
The two that you were mentioning, besides size, there's so much in ours, there's so much different culture there. So in NARI, we get a lot of remodelers, contractors, and I can meet lots of them, but NKBA is a bunch more designers. So it's kind of, for us, it's like both. We want the homeowner and the designer and the contractor to all want to use us. So different people in different areas.
And what is NARI and NKBA? What does it
NARI
stand for?
is the National Association of Remodelers something. I always forget what the I is. And then NKBA is National Kitchen and Bath Association.
Industry, National Association Remodeling Industry.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I don't think size of the groups matter as long as you're getting involved somewhere, doing something, and it could be any group or just being out, talking to people at other businesses that, you're always out in the community developing relationships and that sort of thing. And I called on somebody today that, I called on probably I met him about 5 years ago, and I ran into his card and I thought, man, I need to give him a call about stairs. And I gave him a call, and then come to find out he was also involved in NARI, but I didn't recognize him or see him there. And, but just, getting involved and reaching out. So whatever you do, that's just don't go and not talk to anybody,
Yeah, that's what I would do. Just go and not talk to anybody. You go with a friend. It's a lot better if you know at least one person,
Yeah.
especially if they're really outgoing and they can kind of take you around and stuff. But
Well, we have a young guy that we're taking with us, to get him acclimated. And I think he just, um, doesn't really know anybody other than us, and it's kind of lead him on to, start just making contacts.
yeah.
So,
I think that was hard for me when I got started in this industry. And so my dad would take me to these events and he already knew people. But I think once I went about 3 times, I felt like I could recognize people and figure out who's who. And I don't know. So if anybody's interested in going to something new, I would recommend three in a row before quitting.
Yeah, and really consistency is the key to pretty much everything. I've been a member of a lot of not a lot of groups, but a number of groups. Like I said, like Lions Club, I was a member of that. I was been a member of LATIP, which is a international uh, organization that's just of local businesses that get together uh, for the sole purpose of giving leads to each other. And I've been a member of Toastmasters. I've done a number of different things, but the key is really showing up really consistently. And I've seen in my experience over the years, being a member of different groups, that the people who do benefit from being a part of a group are the people who show up every week. And the people who like show up now and then don't. It's just really, that's just how it is. I'm pretty good at showing up. I can do that, I can show up like repeatedly. So got that going for me. What else? Anything else? Are we done here? Come on.
I'm curious, I've been thinking lately, Greg had mentioned showing up at different tile places, showing up at tile education stuff. Has anyone joined any tile associations or got involved in anything like that to meet tile people and get referrals there?
I had an invitation from LinkedIn from a lady that owns a tile shop, and she owns multiple ones across the East Coast. And I was, I need to go meet with her. But I was thinking how good it would be for her to know this group because, like, yeah, we could co-op within this state and with our region, but I noticed she's national. She has all up and down the East Coast. Like how beneficial it would be for her to know this group, and she could reach out to the other places in the other states. So for those national tile companies or the ones that are maybe branching out to a few different states, how cool it would be for them to know a group like this that could reach out to tile people that they want to co-op with.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
I think it's something we really haven't ever thought of, isn't it? Of like
Yeah.
an adjacent industry, how they
Yeah.
could benefit from just being aware of the co-op or being able getting on the website or something.
I wasn't sure how B2C or B2B this group was, but they would be very much business to business, but it would be very beneficial for them to know of a consistent shower door professional that they could refer out for they have multiple locations of tile shops and showrooms throughout the whole East Coast, and how great it would be for them to have access to this group and to just know it exists, essentially.
No doubt. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. And if you want to, shameless plug, but if you want to give them showerdoorprofessionals.com, there's like a consumer facing page on that, which would be for them.
I will definitely give them my information along with the shower door professionals groups for all the other states that exist.
Exactly. There you go.
Sounds great, Daniel.
There you go. Yeah, they can always reach out and ask the question, and they'll find some friendly people that'll probably help them.
Yeah, they had locations in Boston and like those northern areas, and the first people I thought of were the guys with the northern accents, Michael and all of them, So I was like, it'd be cool to be able to actually refer something out like that.
Yeah, that is cool. That's a great idea. Love it. And of course, there's this group. This is networking group, right? That's what we are. Shower door professionals getting together every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And now it's about 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. So I'm going to go have some dinner now. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I think that was a pretty good discussion. So come on back next week. I'm going to have another topic to talk about. It's going to be great. I think we're going to be talking about safety next week. Very important topic. So be thinking about that. Thinking about what you do to keep your peoples safe. And
That's a very good one. I'm going to
Isn't it?
love that.
yes, we'll compare notes and see what we can learn from each other. All right, everyone. Have a
All right,
great
good night.
week. See you next Wednesday.
Good night.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone.
Next week.